Political factions in British Columbia emerged around James Douglas and Amor De Cosmos. Douglas was part black, married to an Aboriginal woman, and had governed British Columbia through the Hudson Bay Company state. Amor De Cosmos arrived from California during the gold rush and had started a newspaper. The Douglas conservatives were multicultural, Aboriginal, and connected to the previous Hudson Bay Company government. The De Cosmos reformers were supported by white labor unions, religious and prohibition settler groups. The new Vancouver began as multicultural as the old. Richard Alexander was an admirer of James Douglas. He managed the diverse workforce of the largest employer, the Hastings Mill, where the working language was the Aboriginal Chinoowawa. Alexander had worked in Victoria with the Hudson Bay Company and Jewish merchants like the Oppenheimer brothers. He organized the petition to incorporate Vancouver. David Oppenheimer managed Alexander's bid to become Vancouver's first mayor. A.W. Ross was a real estate speculator from Winnipeg who had narrowly escaped prosecution for defrauding Native people of their land. He convinced his newly arrived relative and employee, Malcolm MacLean, to run for mayor against Alexander. Railway workers arrived looking for work, and Alexander hired them at the mill. They immediately went on strike, the first in Vancouver's history. The U.S.-based Knights of Labor were linked to De Cosmos. They supported Malcolm MacLean and fraudulently signed up voters. They physically assaulted 60 Chinese people, preventing them from voting. Under the slogan, "Winnipeggers do your duty," MacLean's coalition of labor, real estate speculators, and Americans won by just 17 votes. The new council argued about who would be on the city payroll and delayed purchasing fire equipment. David Oppenheimer sued to overturn the election results, but just before the hearing, the entire city burned to the ground. Mayor MacLean initiated Vancouver's first community outreach, inviting the Knights of Labor to host anti-Chinese meetings at the new City Hall. In Vancouver's first direct democracy experience, a unanimous vote to expel Chinese from the city sparked the first race riot. The BC legislature, now dominated by the Douglas faction, stripped Mayor MacLean of his judicial powers and sent special constables to defend the Chinese. The values of Old Columbia and Old Vancouver gave way as Chichacos from the U.S. and East, who Douglas called the California Canadian clique, flooded into the new city.